Well, here's a few more jobs that you could be getting on with, and as you can see, I haven't actually finished digging, but I need to, don't I? I need to get on with my digging. But seriously, what are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you a few things that we got to do, and getting shrubs pruned. Now, I've talked a lot about pruning shrubs, and in fact, you've seen quite a bit of pruning of my pruning it on some of the YouTube channels where I have actually pruned them quite hard, and that's the deciduous shrubs. Don't prune any of the Prunus. We leave Prunus till later on in the year when the sap is rising. That's due to diseases. That's really important. As you can see behind me as well, there's an azalea. Look at that coming into bud there, which is quite fascinating. It's these warm spells that we seem to be getting a lot of. Seems to be actually moving stuff forward much faster than I would think. If you've forced any bulbs in your greenhouse or in a cold frame, or just by putting them in pots against the house, start to remove the covers as the leaf comes through, because very soon you'll be getting the flower heads starting to show. At the same time, you must think about rhubarb. Rhubarb forcing is worth doing. My dad always had a couple of old pails, and we used to stuff straw or shredded paper inside the pail, and then put the pail over the crown of the rhubarb, leaving them in situ. If you've got loads of rhubarb, you could cut a crown and keep it in a greenhouse or even a shed and let it be forced, and you get very pink ones then, very pink stems, and there's nothing like rhubarb and custard, is there? So that's something you could also be doing. Get down to your nursery and garden centre and start to look at what is flowering at this time of the year. Some of the daphnes are in flower. You've got good stem colours from some of those magnificent cornuses like Midwinter Fire. You've got hamamelis, mollis. All the different hamamelises look really superb. So have a look at those as well. And these are plants that you could think of buying at this time of the year to give you colour next year. And that's the important thing about going to garden centres several times in the year, so that you actually get plants that flower at different times of the year. So there's a couple of things to be getting on with. Watch for those birds. Keep feeding them, even though we've had some mild weather. And perhaps where you've got a bird table or a drinking area for them, keep it nice and clean, because there's nothing worse than something that's looking pretty grotty. Indoors, see that the plants are misted on a regular basis. Get a little mister if you haven't got one. Moisture around the plant is so important at this time of the year when we've got the heating on. Keep it nice and clean. And if you've got flowering plants, see that you deadhead properly, cyclamen particularly. Go right to the bottom of the stem and pull the dead stem out from the base. If you leave some of it in there, it'll rot, and that's no good at all. So there's a few more things for you to be getting on with this time of the year. Here on World Radio Gardening, we're here to help you with your garden and perhaps other people's gardens, if you help other people in their gardens as well. Don't forget, you can also email me at post@worldradiogardening.com, and I'll answer your gardening questions.